Oh, right. Alrighty, guys. Um, First off, um, let me close out a couple of stream portions. Um, Today is going to be a very heavy, um, into, um, some things. Um, a lot of the things that are going to be talked about today, mainly we're going to talk about Fortnite and talking about the ability of what Fortnite has done for the community in terms of utilizing for the community of Fortnite. Um, Now, of course, for the not the community of Fortnite, but the community of rhythm games. Um, and one of those things is that rhythm games. There's been plenty of things out there that really have brought in a lot into that space. Um, we're going to talk a little bit about some LGBTQ news um, and things of that nature um, with it. Um, and that's primarily what's going to be the big thing going on. No, come on. I really hate my thing there, but anyway, um, and not mainly a lot of pertaining to LGBTQ a lot today. More or less just like last week, like or on Monday, where we talked about freedom of speech. I want to talk about a little bit about book bans. Um, in that regard for the LGBTQ side of things. And then the last one that we're gonna really focus on is the Voting Rights Act. Not mentioned because I don't want to I want to be able to draw some people in with Fortnite Festival and stuff. And things. So we have nothing to really uh pick where we're going to be going um before it. Um I might take that, even though yeah, it's not the greatest. That is 11-hour trip time. Um, what we need to do is I need to figure out. That's not what I want to be doing. Um, that one's going to Kanazawa. Um, I think what I will do is let's set this as a GPS location, which I believe is probably going to be the one at the end. But we're here. We can check here for freight just to see if it's this one. No, okay, so it's the other one at the other end. Other end, which is this one. Um, and we're gonna take this. Um, and since we do need to go to Canada, we are going to make things where just-in-time deliveries. um, are gonna take that thing now. Now, of course, before we do, I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'll be right back. Grab some caffeine. All right. Sorry about that, but we do got some good things. Fortnite. Um, we got update day for Fortnite today. There is an update going to be going live at 4 a.m. If you live on the East Coast. East Coast. If you live on the West Coast, that's probably going to be 1 a.m. I think, or 12 a.m. I might, maybe midnight. Um, for it. 'Cause I know it's 3. No, yeah, it's gonna be about 1 a.m. West Coast. Um, for that, unless um, for which is gonna be something that's gonna be really neat. But we also got update for Call of Duty. Um, as well. Hold on, guys. Um, so it's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna be one of those things um where we will pick and okay, so this is basically 20 hours, but when does this thing end though? Um Main's at 39. Yeah, so we're gonna follow my plan. Um I using because I have to rest. And so when I need to rest, we use this to do things. Um of course, there's one other thing that I always forget to do when I do go live. Um, is I need my glasses. I always forget that because then I can easily better read chat. I can see without them. Out them, I can see without them. I just can't read without them. Um, and that's the only thing. So it'll be a little bit better for me now. But that's kind of the thing. Um, because um, like I said, um, we can go down to Kobe down here. Is where I'm gonna head. Which is right there. So this is how I will do things. But I could also go to Kanazawa at 25. Now, if we that's gonna take us 25 hours to Kanazawa, which 25. Um, so here I'm gonna. So getting there is gonna be 17 hours for following that. Okay. And that's 3 hours from there. That's 25 plus 3. Um, that right there, getting there is going to be 25. Plus 3 hours. So that's going to be 25, 26, 27, 28. That's going to be 28. We will be able to travel that distance. If we go and take the 8 hour to Kobe, um, 8 hour to Kobe, um, the trip time to get down to here is 5 hours. So 5 hours, 5 hours, and then it's basically it's 5 hour, 8 hours. So it's only gonna add 8, 9, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 hours to get here, 3 hours to here, and then that's only gonna be 8 hours. So I'm gonna add 3 hours to our trip time compared to this adding more. I think we could do that. Um, and if we don't, we can always load in um, into a different way of doing things. And then, um, nope. So going from here to Kobe, okay. Um, we'll add actually 4 hours to our trip time there. Um, because now to get to this next checkpoint, we have trip time is 15 hours. We just 15-hour trip time to it. We just took 8 hours. Um, 8 hour trip time. I think will be manageable. I think let's just stick with what we're plan with my plan. Um, on our thing. Let's get some Kama House going. Um, but with a lot of the Fortnite community, like look, like I wanna really iterate that Fortnite has come a long way. Um, has come a long way for. Oh, I need to. I need to shift you out of the way. I need to get a better way to. I need to get like a guitar hook or something. Something that I can put on my desk or something or whatever. Uh, um, but one of the things that I love about Fortnite, a lot of things have changed over the course of Fortnite's repertoire. Um, and over the course of Fortnite, um, over the course of pretty much basically the timeline of these Guitar Hero like games, Rock Band as well, um, and a lot of things. There has been a lot that that needs to be said about Fortnite. Not said about Fortnite, but the timeline in the way that Guitar Hero games have been pretty much a mainstay throughout history. Now, of course, for me, my timeline is not going to coincide with the timeline of the Guitar Hero's timeline. Um, Guitar Hero, the creator of Guitar Hero Harmonix, or Red Octane, basically Harmonix, believe. Actually, it was Harmonix. Um, that basically we have had Guitar Hero games since basically the early 2000s. Um, I think the first. Let me check a thing. Um, yeah, it was created in 2005. Okay, Guitar Hero has been around since basically 2005. And Rock Band have been around for later than that. Um, during the course of the lifespan, we've had pretty much a lot of the the history of Guitar Hero games, or just rhythm games in general. Guitar Hero basically started out with one of the best things in history was Guitar Hero. Um, was pretty much basically a cover game of popular songs. It was not done relative to um, relative to what was being done for Guitar Hero um, and a lot of people, I didn't realize this, but Guitar Hero Encore 80s Rock was also done pretty much a cover. And I actually liked turning, like, my favorite turn, like, when I listened to turning Japanese, I liked the Guitar Hero 80s Encore um, game. Um, but Guitar Hero and Guitar Hero Encore 80s, I believe, was only exclusive to the PlayStation 2. Um, I believe it was only exclusive there. But then Guitar Hero 2, I believe, got moved into the Xbox 360. Um, and Guitar Hero 3 then got released for everybody everywhere else. Um, and pretty much basically a lot of these games have really basically given me the opportunity to enjoy a game that I have basically been playing for decades now. I've been playing probably since 2008. I think 2007, 2008. Um, and that's one of those things that I love about Fortnite. I mean, loved about Guitar Hero is that I was able to enjoy being able to play a game that just really inspired me in loving more music than what was given. And let me be clear, people will say that, oh, Dragon Force is a horrible band. Dragon Force is not a great band. Of course, they're not, but they're not in the sense of for everybody. It's just like the same thing with Nickelback. Okay, Nickelback is not a pop is not a very popular band. Not everybody is a Nickelback fan. Not everybody is, and one of my favorite radio stations that I used to listen to, I actually did not listen to. I lied. Um, trying to get I lied to getting the job that I said I listened to one of the local races. I didn't. Um, I actually would listen to the other station um, out of Sioux City when I was high in element in middle and high school. I listened to Z98. Most of you probably would recognize the thing. They had a post a while ago that basically said you don't like Nick if you like Nickelback we'll ban you. It's like what? Like I didn't say it like because I didn't want to get banned, but I also do love Nickelback. Nickelback is absolutely a great band. Yes, it's not for everybody. It's the same thing with Dragon Force. Okay, okay, and it's not for everybody. And Guitar Hero brought one of the best metal heads to the forefront of absolutely being a fantastic band. Dragon Force is absolutely the best band. Um, one of the best things that to come from from Guitar Hero, and and things. And let me be clear, a lot of these rock band inspired games, um, a lot of these games out there just really have done wonderful. And to be honest, Guitar Hero basically started out as, we didn't have a lot of when it came to white notes or hypo notes, and Guitar Hero 2 brought that in. Guitar Hero 1's very, very hard to handle, but they improved it with Guitar Hero 2 and so forth. And to be honest, like these games have been around for pretty much since 2005, you know, and I have played every Guitar Hero game known to existence. I have played every Guitar Hero 2. I played Guitar Hero 1, Guitar Hero 2, Guitar Hero 3. I played Guitar Hero 4. I mean not Guitar Hero 4. I played Guitar Hero, yeah, basically Guitar Hero World Tour. I have played Guitar Hero Aerosmith, and I've played every um 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 I have played every ounce of these things, and I've played every game except for the Van Halen, except for Guitar Hero Van Halen, um and physically own every one. The only one I don't is Van Halen. Okay, but I have played it now recently. But to be honest, all of these games, you know, have brought me enjoyment, music that I never would have dreamed of listening to, game songs that I probably would have never listened in my as somebody who enjoys these things. But with me, like I did play it back in the day, in the early days. I did play it back in the days when Guitar Hero was the first game that came out. I played it. Now, was I good at it? No. Um, today, today I'm a lot better at it than I was in 2005. I am better at it today because I am now a Guitar Hero player that can play on expert. I can play hard and expert. I can play these things. I can sit down and actually be somebody that loves rhythm. I love rhythm games. Rhythm games have actually been my forte into these things. I have been playing for ever trying to figure out how to play on an expert level. I to be honest, I started playing expert when I basically went and played expert through um controller. I played Guitar Hero 3, 2 and 3 through controller mode. I've played that's how I got my start into really doing that. And that was later. Um wait. So 12 right now I took that time that was 8 and this is taking me 12 hours, which is 29 hours. Um 29 hours? Are we serious right now? The other one would have saved me time and money than going this way. Like, seriously. Whatever, we made that mistake. But luckily, luckily we're at 1.6 mil, so we're absolutely gaining ground right now on driving. Um, but and so I like the evolution of Guitar Hero has been something was with the PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, Wii, pretty much. Until relatively within the last like 15 years, we've been able to steadily. If you own a guitar for the Wii or own a guitar for anything that matter, um, I have been thinking about getting this updated adapter to utilize. Like I have to check on it through Retrocult mods that allows for me to connect my Wii guitar to a PS4 or a PS5. And if I can do that, then I'm going to get a second one. Then that'd be great. But I'm not going to go out and buy it because, um, I'd rather buy the updated Riftmaster, buy a new one, and have that one for extra place. So that when I want to have somebody over to play Clone Hero or something, I can do that. But I want to get the Riftmaster because I want to have at least like to have that official licensed workable for it and not just be like making sure that it works and not be yeah. But then if I do get this, then it would work with tilt and that. So I don't know. Um, but to be honest, but to be honest, Guitar Hero, going from that with harmonics, starting out with Guitar Hero 1 and Guitar Hero 2, and kind of them wanting to start building a game based for a band game, you know, um, and them starting to really um, introduce the instruments in a way that it's there. And to be honest, like harmonics has pretty much basically started this and started this trend and started something that back in the day when Guitar Hero died off. Okay, Guitar Hero started dying off because of a lot of people were just not it's not right at the time, I guess, or that people were just getting burnt out of it. But actually today that's actually a lot different today. Um to be honest, um you know, with a lot of these things, the only game that really stuck around was Harmonix. Harmonix has stuck around. They've stuck around for pretty much basically was still releasing songs for Rock Band 4. I have that. I have that. That's why I was thinking about it. Um, because I have Rock Band 4. I should probably think about maybe checking to see if there's any songs through Rock Band. Like I do have the game, but seeing if there's any DLC that I could get for that game so I can have a little bit more songs available to me. Not going to spend $50 on songs because to be honest, for Fortnite, I can spend nothing and get songs that I want specifically for Fortnite because I got Save the World, and Save the World is one thing that's saving grace for me right now in not buying songs from Fortnite. Like, yeah, there's songs that are there, but to be honest, but going back in the day, you did not have, if you got Guitar Hero, you had whatever came on that disc. You had just what was there. Guitar Hero Encore 80s Rock, same thing. And Guitar Hero 3 and Rock Band and all these things depended on what version you played. If you were accessing the Guitar Hero game on PlayStation, on a PlayStation 2, you wouldn't be able to um for it. Now, of course, I would need to see if I can look for a dongle. Okay, um, to finding a dongle, like I just need to replace a dongle for it. Uh, get like I need to see if there is a dongle out there that is set up for guitar for one guitar that I need that to be honest, I don't know if it would work with the PlayStation 4 5 for the guitar on it. Um, um, but if it's like, if somebody has it for like 15, $20, I will most likely try to recover that so that I can actually play on the PS3. Because then that opens up me for the possibility of being able to play these games on PS3. Opens up the possibility of me being able to play even being able to play Rock Band 4 again. Uh being able to play Rock Band 4 again because that I've played Rock Band. I've played every video game known to man for rhythm games from major companies, from Red Octane to Harmonix to Neversoft to whatever. I've played Guitar Hero from every ounce. Um, you know, I I'll tell you the thing of it is that every iteration of the game most of the time got better. Guitar Hero 1, Guitar Hero 2, Guitar Hero 3 never really had a lot of incremental change except for song tracks and maybe a few note changes here and there, better engine type for it. Um, the first guitar, but going through the history on all of this, Guitar Hero has been pretty much basically has brought in uh, people to enjoying it as a hobby, enjoying it as a career, enjoying it as just a casual kind of experience. And some people have brought it to basically being as career. And to be honest, back in the day, a lot of kids back in the day had the opportunity to play in tournaments, to get guitars, to basically being able to things like that. And to be honest, every Guitar Hero game, I have loved every Guitar Hero game except for um the last Guitar Hero game, the one that was released for the PS5. I mean, not PS5, but released for the PS3 and Wii. Um, but I can tell you, I own these games. For what it's worth, I own every um insurmountable way of doing things. Now, I could easily pick up and be able to play a lot of these games easily today. For a lot of people, you can play. Yeah, see, we did pay our loan investment for the day, but we are making money. Like, our loan investment is paying off. We're still having to pay that off monthly, but this truck is me taking, and I bought like a couple of trucks, and they're helping pay off for for it. Let me go check our driver manager real quick. William F. and Mark William F. we're level 8. Wilma F is at level 7. Um, um, skill training. Um, I have decided to use a balanced, um, long distance, has been there. Um, but a well balanced driver. I like to have my drivers well balanced. Um, for a lot of it, at least until everybody at least has one in everything, so they can, and then I'll just maybe just go into long distance and set one to long distance. Not long distance, but yeah, I'll just save them to well. I just save them to balanced in a lot of ways, but to be honest, Guitar Hero, like getting back onto the topic of Guitar Hero and stuff, like for me, um, my timeline in enjoying these things, um, the year is 2007. Okay, the year that is about the year where I did not play PlayStation. I have not owned a PlayStation, never played a PlayStation 2 until pretty much basically 2007, 2008, as a religious thing where I went and played with my um, cousin's PS2, the slimmer model PS2, not the fat PS2, but the slim PS2. Um, and that's where I kind of got my interested in to PlayStation in that regard. Where I've been a PlayStation person since my whole entire life. I have played PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 5. Okay? And the best systems right now were the PS2. For what it's worth, that is the best system in the PlayStation lineup outside of the PSP. Um, um, but that's when Guitar Hero 3, 2 and 3 were out. Um, that was when I was able to pretty much be able to play for it, and I was playing with my cousin who not with my cousin, but that was when my cousin had the games. Um, and that's where I would consistently play that game because that was absolutely the best thing in life that I ever have done. And then basically I went and bought a Guitar Hero um for Christmas. I got Guitar Hero 5 for Christmas. Absolutely the best thing I've ever received for the for a Christmas gift. To be honest, I no other Christmas gift besides the PS2 itself have I received as a gift that I have enjoyed. I've played Guitar Hero, and since then, when I since I got it for Christmas, like I think like not too long later, that's when I started collecting for Guitar Hero. That's when I have basically went back and played Guitar Hero World Tour. I've played Guitar Hero World Tour, Guitar Hero, um, uh, um, that's when I started playing it. I don't remember exactly. It was later. I think it was like when Guitar Hero 5 was out, and I did get a guitar. That right there just really enjoyed Guitar Hero for me, and I have the Guitar Hero 5 guitar to this day. I never got rid of any of my guitars. I've never really gotten rid of any of them. Um, I pretty much have like four guitars right now. Um, and I have pretty much basically a PS2 guitar, a not a P I have two PS2 guitars, one PS3 guitar, and one Wii guitar. I have four guitars lying around. It's no slouch that I love that. Now, of course, the reason why I have the um the one guitar, like I own the entire PS2 guitar from my cousin. Basically, PS2, my PS2 originally was from my cousin. Um, Absolutely love the PS2. Um, One of the best things I've owned this the fat and the slim. But one of the things that I want to grab though in my thing that I want to grab at some point is I want to be able to gather and find the Linux kit for the PS2 because that just seems like something I want to grab and be able to fiddle with. But in order for me to do that, I have to get a PS2, a regular fat PS2, so that maybe I can run around with Linux and figure out what it's like. What it's like to run around with the PS2, and having a Linux distro built for it. Like to be honest, like the PS3 had it too, and then they gave up on it. I'm like, okay, I don't mind. I'm not against. Um, uh, I'm not against Linux now. I am actually kind of a full on loving Linux and as that. Um, but getting into the topic of back on topic, the the thing is then that's when I started picking up and being able to play Guitar Hero on on the PS2. And of course I could not get Guitar Hero 5 to run on the PS2 at the time. I had to use my cousin's PlayStation 2, and that's when I really should have kept the fat PS2, even though, but it just wouldn't read. It just would not read blue discs. It would not read um, CDs. It would not read certain types of things. I don't know why, but certain portions of the PS2 would not read on it. Um, but one of the things that I found to be enjoyable within the series itself is that I've never owned any of the other instruments. I've only ever owned a guitar, and that's it. I've pretty much basically um, on it. I pretty much basically, and one guitar I'm missing the dongle for. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to use it, because of not being able to sync with the guitar itself. Um, but I'm pretty sure if I could find the Guitar Hero 5 one, then I can be able to have an ability to utilize that for my PS5. Um, like this is what it should be during the day instead of at night. I don't know why. I don't understand why that's there, but um, within the interest of um, the series, you know, And I've basically that's when I started really collecting all of the Guitar Hero Rock Band style of games. I have played pretty much basically day one with Guitar Hero. Day one, final day one. Um, Not day one, but that's basically. And then I have basically been collector of getting every Guitar Hero, every Rock Band title, personally, every version of it. Why? Because I've been enjoying the entirety of the series. I've pretty much basically went and owned every Guitar Hero game on the PS2, and I except for Van Halen. Van Halen is the only one I'm missing on the on it, and if I can find it, that'd be great for me, and I would have every PS2. Um, um, and then and so it's like, and that's kind of where I fell in love with the Rock Band series as well. But it's like, and today, like I've been playing basically since 2013. Um, I have played pretty much basically off and on for basically for when I can remember as a teen. Um, as somebody like Guitar Hero. But I will tell you, like, not every Guitar Hero game is the fantastic game. Not a big fan of Guitar Hero 5 though. It's actually one of the only um like I'm gonna tell you, like, the only Guitar Hero game I am definitely not a big fan of is Warriors of Rock. Um, but I don't mind. Um, I wonder how long we're gonna sit here and wait for these vehicles to go by. Now we do have a vehicle malfunction, of course, but we'll get through it. Um, but and going through the timeline of a lot of these things, Guitar Hero kind of started dying off in 2013. I really um in 2010, 2011, I think, was where it kind of started downhill trend with a lot of these things. I feel like, yeah, Guitar Hero and Rock Band were still around at the time, but that's when kind of where things really started shifting and changing the way that these games have been presented to us in a way that really provides um, uh, people getting kind of like um, falling off on it. No, I'm not saying that not everybody fell off from these games. I'm just saying that most people, casual people, just started falling off from these games in that sense. And going through the history of that and festival, up till festival, um, what got Rock Band the way that it is, Rock Band 4, um, you know, Rock Band 4 kind of was like they didn't do well with Rock Band 4. Like I absolutely will tell you, the best Rock Band title is Rock Band 3. I love every Rock Band title. I love Rock Band 3. I love the I love it. Rock Band 3 is absolutely um where Rock Band 3 is the best Rock Band title for me. I feel out of all of them. But I will tell you, I do like Rock Band 4. I'm not any, but they had some issues at the beginning. When Rivals came out, then that was kind of where Rivals started picking up, and Rock Band was actually kind of starting to get better. Um, um, and that's where I love the Guitar Hero and Rock Band franchise, um, at its entirety in its core. But Rock Band 4 was kind of not doing so well. Um, and the Rock Band 4 is still around today. It's just not as what it used to be. Um, where Rock Band 3 kind of really took off. Um, I really don't mind, like, if they did generational um, Rock Band Guitar Hero games, generational things. I think a lot of it. I wouldn't say they shouldn't do generation. I think they should have one every 4 years, update the game to 4 or 5 years kind of stuff. But they were doing it like crazy. They were crunching. They were trying to get things out, and a lot of these older titles. And I'm going to tell you, I think I'm going to go back and we're going to play some of these older PS1, PS2 titles from back in the day. I mean, some of these older PS2 titles from back in the day. I've been thinking about maybe doing that tonight. Starting that where we will play some of these older games. We'll start there, and we'll just start picking up a random game on a Thursday stream, where I will have one for um, at 7 o'clock. We'll go for about 2 hours playing. We'll go from 7 to 9. Um, Um, where um, I've been thinking about it, and I might do it tonight. Um, because I've got nothing better to do. I really am going to tell you that I have played pretty much basically everything of these games. Guitar Hero. Um, Currently there is no Guitar Hero. There is no other real, tangible, official Guitar Hero game. There is no more Rock Band games. Um, because Rock Band is now engulfed into Fortnite. And Fortnite has gotten some major changes with latest updates and things. Where, Fortnite has been around for Fortnite Festival's been around for at least a year, maybe two at the latest. Um, I think they started around in 2024, I think. Let me double check. Um, Actually, I was wrong. Fortnite Festival has been around since 2023. Um, it's been around since then. Um, for the game itself. And Fortnite Festival um is fantastically is a fantastic game. Um and over the years of Fortnite's festival being created and being done, we started out with just being a tapping game. Um and then we got Pro Guitar coming in with the PDP riff with Riffmaster. Um and we've got some cool things that came out about it. And to be honest, we've had Pro Guitar for a while. I love being able to um we are over here um if we go to services, can I purchase a trailer? What's the cheapest trailer I can purchase? The wooden flatbed is the only one that I can purchase. The curtain side is 5,000. I don't have enough right now. Um, but we're gonna go that way because we're gonna need to get check up on our vehicle, get some stuff done with it. Um, Actually, I should check Hida. Hida. Um, okay, that's where I'm gonna have to go to grab that. Um, no. What are services? Tow to service. Okay, yeah, it'll take us about. Oh, it's going to Takayama for it. Um, so here's what I'm going to do. I am. We're going to go up to that point. Huh. That makes much more sense. That definitely makes much more sense on it. Um, Waiting for that to come by. Um, Ow. I got spitting ticket. But yeah, as you can see, we have a vehicle malfunction. Um, and I don't like this. I don't like that we have this vehicle malfunction. For this, and I need to slowly work on getting it that way. If I have to, get to the point of being able to upgrade to fix this, we will. Um, all I'm doing is we're gonna go up there. Um, to getting that point. Um, but with festival being right up there, with the timeline of that, since 2023, festival has been pretty much getting some steady ground. Um, right now we have festival. Um, right now, currently within its latest festival update, we now have pro drums and pro vocals. Now, pro drums are, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to cost you a lot more. in terms of being able to play pro drums right now. Um, Pro drums are the most expensive thing to play within. Why? Why? Just why? And normally I wouldn't do that in real life, but this is a freaking video. Okay. I don't know how I'd miss this turn. Yep. Another damage to the truck again. I'm not holding the gas, by the way. I am just coasting until I can no longer need to coast. I'm going to put it at 60 now, but Festival has done wonders for the music industry again. Festival's back, baby. We've got that karaoke mode. A lot of people are absolutely wanting to play karaoke, and lot of people want to sing. A lot of people were really enjoying that for a series on its game on such an amazing game for what they can do within Fortnite. The, like Festival is a game on itself. Could be a game on its own. But Festival, like Fortnite, has just made it like a place to where you can just go play whatever you want, um, and things. And no, why? What? I saw nobody coming. I looked. You know what? I did that same thing. Like, I don't get it. Okay. How did I miss the repair garage? Because that's where I need to be. Okay, wait. Is that broken? Unless... Unless our repair garage is down here. Okay. Can we go to services? Yeah, it goes to Takayama for 34 minutes. Which, to be honest, um, wait a minute. So we're right down here. How did we get down here? Um, so we'll do service recommended for everything except for those for now. Um, and then um, yeah, I might as well just keep with what I've got. Um, okay. our full tank again. This will determine where. That's just a weird way of getting there. Like, that needs to be fixed. Like, seriously. Like, if you're gonna have something like that. Um, it is going to be about that time where trying to figure out how to get there was a challenge. Um, I don't know how long we've been streaming for. To be honest, because I could get my own trailer, and we have the curtain side available to us. So if I can start getting to the curtain side, not for me anyway. Yeah, how it's 20-hour trip distance, 41 hours remaining. No, no, I'll just do it this way. Um, I don't know. Hold on, I can. I need to check a thing. Um, not what I was looking for. Okay, yeah, we've been shooting for about an hour and a half. Um, I had thought I had my Twitch, no Twitch auto mod queue open, so if anything does pop up where the auto mod just puts you in there, um, you know. But one of the things that really is apparent within the Fortnite is just like I am happy with Fortnite being available for what it is. I will tell you, um, I was thinking about doing um um of doing the Guitar Hero thing, but Festival, like I am just happy that we're able to continue to play these games because we have choice now. Um, we now have the obligated choice of we can play Fortnite, we can play Clone Hero, Yarg, we can play Fret Smasher. Um, I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, I'm leaving. We're gonna take the ship. This is gonna be our last haul for the day, though. Um, I'm not gonna haul anymore after today. Um, uh, I'm not gonna haul anymore for after today. No, I'm not gonna haul anymore for the rest of the day, though. Um, at least maybe haul. Maybe I might do a haul at 9 o'clock tonight or whatever. Um, I mean not 9 o'clock, but I might do a haul at like 1 o'clock in the morning tonight. Um, it's all gonna depend on Glass when he gets on. And to be honest, like if I need to get a job, to be honest, like I don't care. Like I do care. Like if the biggest one is like for me, I always look for not the bare minimum. I never look for the bare minimum. I always look for at least enough. Like I said, I always look for enough to have the ability to survive. Um, I don't know why I'm, but if we can start getting enough money, Right now, I have two drivers that are kind of. We're on borrowed time right now. We are slowly trying to pay things off. Um, but yeah, I went around, but that's okay. I don't think I went and anyway. Uh, but one of the things that that really uh is horrible though. Fortnite. Yes, Fortnite's a great thing, and Fortnite's great, but I've talked about this PlayStation DRM issue on Monday. There has actually been some news, that this could potentially just be a test for the 14-day window where you get a temporary license to the game for 14 days, where you have to be online for that, apparently. Um, don't know if that's true. Don't know if that's there, but um, the PlayStation DRM situation is weird. Um, People are saying, "Oh, it could be that PlayStation is testing out for thing." There, we don't know exactly the whole entire situation on this, um, because we have reports that it's going to be 30 days for it. Then we have reports that it's going to be games to buy, and you will have a temporary license and receive a permanent license if you keep the game after 14 days. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of things that we don't know, but it's whether if this is true or not, whether the PlayStation DRM situation. Um, no, we're going to go to Kanazawa. Like I don't know this way. I don't know. I'm once I start figuring out how to travel from point A to point B. Once I figure out everything in this area, then we'll figure things out. But as of right now, we don't. But to be honest, the DRM situation. This is why I always advocate for physical a lot of the time. Like I tend to spend more on PlayStation 5 for digital than I do physical. I do the same thing with Steam, where I spend my games on physical. Um, spend my games through digitally. Like this game is a digital only game. There was a disc released for this back in the day, but to be honest, there has not been like if you want DLC, you can't go out and get the DLC. You have to go out and run the game through a Steam to get the DLC. Unfortunately, so it's like you're gonna miss out on a lot of things for the game in itself. Um, but it's like DRM is like I hate when game companies start putting these arbitrary things to prevent us from having access to our games when the service is shut down. Now, if Sony said we're going to give you that everybody's going to get a license where you have to be connected online, but then when we decide to let go of the PS4 PS4 console, PS4 games, then we'll just say, hey, we're just going to give you the game to play for free, and without having to be connected online. Hopefully that's the good case, but that's being optimistic a little bit. I don't think it's something that really um, needs to be done that way. Um, I don't want to go out and get another loan. Um, because I have to go to services. If I go to bank, that's the only one that I could grab. Um, and I need to be able to pay this off. Um, on that regard. Um, and and so I gotta keep this vehicle as much tip-top shape. If I have to, I could potentially just fire somebody. I don't like to fire anybody. I've never fired anybody in this game. I did let go somebody because we didn't have the funds to do anything. Like those are the things that I do. Like I could sell this vehicle off and just sell it off and then uh go and do um if I sold this vehicle off just as a thing, um but we will see. But we'll see how the DRM stuff, how the DRM shit's gonna work, to be honest. But then there's also another bad thing within within the realm of politics. I do talk politics. It is the only thing I talk about around here as well. We mainly talk about video games, politics, clothes, fashion, um, and technology, primarily. Um, Now, of course, one of the things that I have really noticed, um, with, well, not noticed, actually, one of the things that people need to really understand is that the Supreme Court basically just gave way to giving up gerrymandering for race. Basically, um, if a district decided that they wanted to gerrymander out racial people or gerrymander out LGBTQ. Anybody who has a minority or anybody who is pretty much based on black your color of your skin, um, you have basically states can now take that away from you. States can decide to gerrymander you out and not have you have representation and limit you to being only basically white, and this is not right. It was a 6-3 um, decision. It was on them basically, um, and it's really a horrible decision. Um, who cares about Latino people, Glass? Who cares about Guatemalans? Who cares about these things? I do. I do care about. I care about blacks. I care about the everybody having at least representation, having everything to support people, making sure that people have the ability to continue to have their voice to be heard. Everybody should have that right. At least having the voice to be heard, at least being able to make that. And unfortunately, the Supreme Court decided no. And it was all the conservative justices, by the way. Only the conservative justices. Wasn't the liberal justices, the conservative ones did this. Conservatives do not care about black people, apparently. Apparently. You can't, like, the well, then somebody's going to come back and not care about you, Glass. People aren't going to care about. See, if you don't start caring about black people, well, guess what? Did you know that your skin color can be in relation to um that blacks have a darker skin color than you, but that than Latin people, but Latin people have a brown colored skin. So basically, you'd be focused on that then too. You lose. See, you don't quite understand this, Glass. Is that when you start not caring about one group, then then that means that if you don't care about black people, that means you're not really wanting to help your group either, because all it is now is that they can start start harming you, taking away your rights, taking away what you have resemblance. White people want to take away that right. According to some white people want to take the right away from black people. Go back to 1930s. Go back to even the 1800s to be more precise. You wouldn't have rights. You wouldn't be able to have the right to vote. You would basically if they decided to do that, that you could basically not go and do that. You could potentially even lose out on money, because they can basically say, "Oh no, whites are superior than than black people." So basically, you will have less money, which means you could, in theory, if you make minimum wage and the minimum wage is set to 7.25 by federal law, and that's all you make, you can no longer make any more than federal minimum. You basically will not be able to survive in today's economy. So yeah, it affects. It not only does it the affect black people and white people. Okay, it mostly will affect black people more than anything. Um, but if it affects black people, it's also going to affect brown people and other people of color. It'll affect races that do not fit the mold of being white. Whoops. I don't need gas. So yeah, so you should care. And if you aren't willing to care, then basically what you're doing is you're not really caring about your people either. either. That's the whole point. Because that's why I stand and I will stand to support the the LGBTQ community. Why I stand to support the people of color. May not seem like I do, Glass, because some things, I more focus on my home country than I focus on other countries, but I still, you know, but I still focus on some of those things. Like I still tend to really focus on Canada too, because guess what? Who's our neighbor? I really focus on our neighbors a lot of the time as well, because guess what? Most of Canada, because I can't understand Spanish, so I just really don't care. If I don't understand language, um, see that's where it's wanting me to go, but I need to go up here. But I'm gonna go this way, and we got 2 hours, and we got 14 hours left on it, so we will be fine. That's why I was willing to take this. It may cost me a little bit more, but so yeah, I really care about a lot when it comes to people that deserve to have rights, and making sure that people have the rights to be able to not only be able to vote, but also be able to have the right to be able to speak their mind, being able to have the right to own a weapon if they so choose. I am against people not being able to own weapons of guns and things like that. I'm not against these things, and rights are always something that we should be able to mostly have, as long as they're not directly going to um directly harm somebody with our speech. Directly, it's the thing is like directly yelling fire in a theater. Well, you yell fire in a theater, cause panic, and somebody gets trampled. You're at fault for it, because you basically made you basically yelled something that was not true, or that can hurt that. But that's hurting somebody, or utilizing the words that eventually, you use these words, and then you come out and really actually act on it. Then you're really um then you're at fault. If you're willing to hurt somebody, because it doesn't matter which political party you belong to, you know you belong to the political party, you have that right to pick and choose how you want to be, pick and choose what you do. And remember this as well. If you are not willing um, to support the United States in fighting for democracy, you are not willing to have the ability to have it to protect your home country as you see fit, because the United States could really potentially become a target for your home country, because they decide that, oh, they don't like it, so we're just going to try and harm your home country. Guess what? That's what they're doing to Cuba right now. Cubans in America are really hating Trump, because they're harming Cuba. You know, it's that bad. Venezuelans and things that Trump has done with other countries, you know, that really do affect what goes on. So if you really care about your home country, you should care about the United States, in the sense of not preventing things from happening to your home country that the United States deems to be bad. Because remember, the United Trump has basically said that he wanted to go after Canadians. There are a lot of people who have Canadian citizenship and American citizenship, and going after Canadians really could potentially harm Mexico in the long run. Which then, if that really does potentially like what Hitler did, it can also come down to starting to affect Southern America as well, because who really um, effectively basically Guatemala is down there too, and other countries that Brazil and Chile and other countries that can be affected by what Trump is doing, and it's affecting these things. So it's why I stand to fight and protect the things that we should be doing what's right and not utilizing our power for taking over countries, changing countries, regimes. So, well, what do you mean, glass? No, you yeah. So then basically, yeah, that's basically if you want to allow it, then maybe you should fight and actually protect this country so that maybe you can protect your home country too, because that's the potentially that could be going for it, because that's what's going, because right now that's what could be, there could be potentially some people who are from other countries that um are really affected by this, because like in 1930s, 1940, actually 1940s, Japanese people were affected with what Trump's doing, except only Trump's doing it um because what Trump is doing right now is putting people into concentration camps like they did like they did with Japanese people in the 1940s, because of what happened with the bombings going on over in with what happened to Pearl Harbor and Japan attacking the United States for it. And that's what's going on. It's literally, and if you don't if you don't think things through and just say, oh, I don't care about the United States, I don't care anymore, I don't, well then you're gonna not fix the problem that's going to affect other people, that affecting your community, the people that came from other countries. Like, if for you, Glass, there are a lot of Guatemalans who came to this country, who came to find a better life, who came in because their families and they were brought here, or chose to come here to find a better life because of what was going on at the time. And you're really wanting to hurt those people too, because those are the people that if you claim to care about Guatemala, you should care about the Guatemalan people that live here in the United States and be willing to help them too. But it seems like every time that I hear about, when you talk about it, you don't care. You only care about yourself a lot of the time when it comes to um or just caring about your country of Guatemala, and not caring about the people that are actually here, that are from Guatemala. And by that measure, if you really care, you would care about um, voting and making sure that we can fight and actually prevent people who are um, being detained, because apparently right now ICE agents are back in Minnesota again. Apparently, I'm not quite 100% for sure on it. It was just a headline I saw, so I don't know if that's 100% true. You know, and that's why. And to be honest, it's the same thing for me. Like I am willing to, help people from from all sides. At most cases, there's only a handful of people that I will not, and only those people who doesn't matter if they're coming from another country, doesn't matter if they're from X country because of um the political people who end up following Donald Trump and believe in him. I don't care. You guys can go screw off because those are the people that I don't care about. Because you're the one that has really came in here and is hurting America. No, America was better when Obama was in office. America was better when Biden was in office. It was it's gotten worse under Trump. Second term. First term was a little bit bad too, but under the second term it's gotten worse. So I can understand why a lot of people would say they don't care about America. I understand that. But I am willing to fight for it and willing to make sure that we can get it to back on track and get it better than what it was before. So, and I have full undivided attention to making sure that this country is um is being there, because remember, the United States, for what it's worth, it may not be the perfect brightest country ever, but at one point USAID helped people across the world, helped people in Guatemala, helped people in other countries get the care that they needed. That might that sometimes their government might not be able to give what they're needed to be able to survive. You know, so this country is a good country if you make it that way, make it right. But I guarantee you, there are a lot of things that if you go and look at a country and you actually look at a country for it, you have to really think about what are you willing to give up a lot of freedom. There's a lot of things in the United States that we do have the freedom to do, but that's being torn apart, being taken away, because our freedom to be able to learn whatever book, being able to read whatever book we want, teach whatever we want to teach in certain parts of our thing, are being taken away. Not being able um to read certain things it has because it's an LGBTQ book. They're taking that away. They're taking away a lot of these freedoms that right's taking away our freedom of speech. The left is taking away our freedom to bear arms. Slowly chipping away at both of them. So it's and those are the two things that were instilled into us in the First and Second Amendment, and has been that way forever. Pretty much, basically, the time this country was founded, 250, literally 250 years ago, that these things were instilled into the Constitution. That we have the right to have whatever religion we want. We should not be going after people who are of um, who are Muslims. We shouldn't be going after people who are Catholics. We shouldn't be going after people who are Mormons, who shouldn't be going after people who are um, part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, however you like to put, whatever you like to call them. To be honest, going after people who have the right to be an atheist, the right to be a Scientologist, to be part of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti or whatever. That is the right instilled, that we have the right to freedom of a religion that we can choose to whatever we want to be, and having the right to be there. Because if you're not willing to stand to protect those freedoms, then you're not, and you don't care, then, you know, I care. I care enough that that this country needs to be better. And I guarantee you, if you go and you look at things, this country is 50. This country really is a melting pot, because our country is built upon 50 different cultures. 50. Okay? Most of the time, and most of the time you go and you study, or the culture, you go look at Texas. If you go to Texas and then you come to the Midwest into Minnesota, things are going to be totally different. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't care about this country, then you shouldn't be caring about football. You shouldn't be caring about sports, because that's the whole point. If you don't care about this place, then why spend your time playing video games from America? Why spend your time buying stuff in the United States? Why spend your time caring about, those things? Because guess what? That's the whole point. Is like, now of course, if you look at MLB, Major League Baseball, actually Major League Baseball, you can really care about some of those sports, but you can't care about American football. If you really care about the United States, you would not be. If you would be then you should be caring about those things. Because guess what? If for some reason within the day that they decide to take away sports, would you be pretty angry? Of course, I would be. If they decided that you can only do what you only, yeah, you can only do do the things that we tell you to do. That's not right. We should not be forced to do something and being told that we should follow. We should be allowed to have the ability to do it. And let me be clear. There's a lot of things that this country could be doing a lot better. Sorry, I am grabbing my phone. I'm plugging it in. So yeah, we should care. If you're not willing to care about it, then you shouldn't be voting. If you don't care about this country, you shouldn't. You shouldn't be. Then you should find ways to not work, or find ways to get out of here. If you don't care about this country, you should care. You should at least care. If you don't, then maybe you should figure out a way to leave and get out and actually leave, leave. If you don't care, like I am willing to fight and continue to fight and care for this country because if we don't, because then if you don't, then you know, because one of those things that glass that one of the things that that glass is an immigrant, and if you really are not willing to fight, then what's the point? Then it's like I'm not gonna sit here and tell you you can't do something. Do something. You can't. You can choose to however you wanna be, but I'm just saying that if you're not willing to care, then then you need to figure out a way to get out of this country, and you can. There's nothing stopping you from leaving this country. There's nothing um that's stopping you from wanting to leave. You have plenty of things to do. Um, to continue to fight, and if you continue to fight for your home country, if you fight for your home country, that means, um, you know, I will tell you, like, I don't care what country you support, as long as you are willing to continue to fight in the country that you currently live in and continue to fight for a better change. Because if you leave, um, for example, if you go to, um, Puerto Rico, yeah, you might go to these other countries and they might have certain things that you don't like about it. There's a lot of things I don't like about this country right now. But that doesn't mean that I'm against this country or against I'm against the policies, against the people that are changing the country to make it fit for what they want and not what you want. Telling you that you have to follow this, that you have to believe this, and trust me, at some point, if you only care about your home country, at some point that country will be gone. At some point, all of these countries will be gone completely. There will be no countries. There will be um, none of it, and that we will all not be part of a country anymore. So it's like why care about a certain country? I care about other countries too. I don't just care about the United States. I care about Canada. I care about, you know, Mexico. I care about some of these these other Ukraine and you know um and some of the I can't and Palestine and other places and other things that are out there. I care I care about Israel too. I care, yes, I would care, because I care about the people that are in these countries, care about the people that are there, you know. Um, what did I? Yeah, I don't know why my capture card is deciding to disconnect itself, but I don't know why. I didn't see that it had disconnected itself. I should have let me know sometimes. Um, so Anyway, I know. To be honest, I know you guys didn't see a lot of things. You guys heard me talking, and I was driving, but you couldn't hear anything. Um, we're over here now. From wherever it disconnected, it disconnected, and then basically, yeah. I didn't notice it. I gotta be more careful about when I hear that ding. I should check to make sure my capture card is not disconnected. But anyway, I'm gonna see you guys back here in a few. I'll see you guys back here in about a half an hour. Um, for some streaming. We will come back in a half an hour. We'll play. We will play um, some Guitar Hero, maybe some Rock Band. For that. But for now, if you guys want to see things from me, make sure you guys are subscribed here on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, we will be back tomorrow afternoon for some Final Fantasy 13. Tomorrow night and tonight. If you're watching on actually YouTube, make sure you also when you hit that subscribe, hit that bell notification. Um, Make sure that you guys follow here on Twitch because we'll be back in about a half an hour playing some Rock Band or Guitar Hero. Haven't decided which one we're going to start with or which one I'm going to play for a little bit. Um, if you guys want to um, play, uh, or if you guys want to see some Fortnite tonight as well, I will do that. So, anyway, we will catch you guys later. Bye.